Sounds still a bit clicky. The lift makes slow, jostling progress. It lurches every few feet, the rusty chains groaning like the dead. It comes to a terrible stop, and the entire platform swings precariously. A sharp metallic odour emanates from one of the winches. You hear screeching. At first you think it's coming from the winch, but then you realise it's coming from above. Okay. An enormous scuttle swoops from the shadows. You feel the air from a passage as it whooshes past you, but before you can catch more than a glimpse, it's circling back, screeching for you with ear-splitting shrieks. Rustling wings and a heavy mask alert you to the presence of more of the beast. As they close, the platform continues to sway and bounce. Scatter to the edges. You split up and dash for opposite sides of the swaying platform. Alof trips, and the swinging motion sends Alof tumbling towards the edge. Oh, great. Send somebody to help. Toss a rope. Alof grabs the ropes and clings to safety. As you check your own footing and look back to the centre of the platform where a large Skadok is already descending. The beast dives towards the middle of the platform, spewing acid. Most of it lands on the tiles, where it bubbles and sizzles, but you are caught in the spray. I'm at the side. What? The beast glides away and disappears in the shadows overhead. However, the smaller Skildrick land on the platform and advance towards you. How can I get hit? I was bloody at the side. What was this? Lies. Right, hit me. Really hit me, okay? You've got to do this for me, alright?
Huh?
Yes?
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Let's go.
4 damage.
Let's go.
Yeah, he won't be taking any damage anytime soon. No way that. This is what I mean. I just don't get critted. Maybe I'll take this off. That should help as well. Yeah, I'll take that off as well then. See if that helps. I'm burning apparently. Lovely. Right.
Yeah.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for
I shall listen. Listen!
Let's go.
Come later.
What? Go.
11 life, but he's a bit confused. Ooh. Oh, look at that. It's a skull hand. That is cool. You turn the wheel and a gust of steam blasts you in the face. They stagger back and fall, spiraling towards the smoking flame. You find solid ground beneath your feet, even as the air around you is a haze of smoke and heat shimmer. Coughing, you bat acrid flames away from your face. As you accumulate to the soot-choked air, you see flames leaping in the distance. Each flare bathes you in warmth, and even as you struggle to pick out the details in this place, something about it seems familiar. Examine the surroundings. You can see little through the thick smoke, but the dancing flames illuminate a dragon's head cast in stone. It's the White Forge. As you start toward it, something massive comes down, crushing down in front of you. You leap back at the sound of metal slamming into metal and feel a deep tone ring through the thick air. Recovering your bearings, you find yourself looking at an enormous hand. It's dark and shiny with heat, but you see every bone, muscle and tendon working with harmony beneath the bronze flesh. The hand's owner is hidden beneath clouds of smoke, but the hand itself is wrapped around a pole as thick as sturdy as a tree. Follow the pole, follow the pole, follow the arm, follow the pole, follow the arm, follow the pole. You continue onward to see that lies at the other end of the pole, and that what is responsible for the clangorous music, just as the hand rises again. It swings back down a perfect arc. A tower of metals smashes down ahead of you, raining sparks and glints of essence as another deep ringing note sounds. You realise that you're looking at an enormous hammer. The head glows with the heat and essence, though the purple lustre fades as soul energy is sucked from the hammer and into the work under it. Inspect the hammer. It's a black block of black steel, as dark as a starless night, and shiny enough that you can see your reflection in it. It's a work of art itself, a study of simple yet perfect design. Take a closer look. As the hammer rises once more, you dart forward to see what lies beneath you. A lone figure sprawls on an expanse of steel as smooth and broad as lake ice. The figure itself is enormous, a malefic of twisted flesh and forged metal. Its arms end in two spiked clubs, and its head is a blunt, eyeless wedge. It opens its mouth and keens. The desperation in that noise reminds you of a newborn's fear and confusion. Air rushes at your back. You look up to see the hammer, its head once more glowing with essence, speeding towards you. You awaken to the sensation of warm tiles beneath your feet. You're prone before the boiler, which drones on, pushing heat through the tower floor. But the vapour that pulses from the boiler and pipes, you smell the fumes of the white forge.
That's rather dramatic.
Yeah.
That's rather dramatic.
Yes.
That was incredible! Whole forge spit flames when you did whatever you did. And the smoke! Ha! I saw it from here. And now to see about these cannons.
She rubs her hands together. She starts for the door, but then she remembers something.
This is for you. Found it while we were cleaning out the battery.
Now, how do those cannons work?
If only I could show you. But everyone else is all worried about accidents and injuries. So they've said I can't fire them until there's a real need. I'm headed up the tower. Gonna make those cannons shine.
Skips towards the door. He's a happy little Orlin. Hear that. Dealt with the Bleakbuckers, Haddie and Elwyn were killed, but Eska is alive. Gods, Haddie, but Eska lives. You saved him. Then for that I owe you everything. I'd never make any of it right, but I'll try. Take this. Push bag.
Sure.
The soldier watches you warily as you approach. Once you're within speaking distance, one of them gestures with his pistol. That's far enough. What are you doing here? Sir, didn't mean to intrude. I'm here to speak with the commander. The commander's not receiving any more visitors. He looks you over, frowning. Does Stalwart send you? Yes. Here for your delegates. The commander has them in a cell. He'll have the truth out of them, one way or the other. As for you, Adaryc wants nothing more to do with messengers or diplomats. You're too late. Can you tell me about Adaryc? A good man with great hopes for Redcereans. That's all I'll say. But why are you here? Adaryc has said that there will be a great battle, and we are here to hold the pass and defend Redcereans. He has seen this in a dream. He had a vision. Just what he has seen in his own concern. Adaryc leads us well. We don't question his orders. We ask more than enough questions. Go on. Get out of here. I won't warn you again.
Redcerans aren't much for subtlety.
Yep, say that again. Right, so yeah. Like I say, first time I did that, it literally took me an hour to try and solve it, and it's like I just didn't care why it was so difficult to get that done.
Enough! I've had my fill of... What's
Oh,
this?
you're loud.
What? Who are you?
The Inron Flail commander is a younger man, lean and build. His brown hair is unkempt, his eyes fevered. At his feet is a grave, a grate set over what appears to be a pit. You hear the smattering of anxious cries rising from the cell as the commander steps forward. He glares down through the grate, face a mask of rage.
More of your scheming friends? Not a scrap of honor in the lot of you.
Prefer to settle this peacefully.
I'm sure you would, now that you're here. You want to talk? Set down your...
Adaryc words die in his throat, expression frozen mid-snarl. It isn't clear what happened, not until you start to feel it too. On Biden you sense drift, as if you had reached out towards a source of essence. You feel an ache in your chest, an almost painful sensation of being pulled forward. A sudden wave of memories flood your mind, clear as the day they formed. You see Odmund's campsite, ravaged by the Berwick, the halls of Kednoir. In the caverns beneath the keep, the stone around you bellows warnings in a dead language. Deeper still, a fanged maw parts like a wound in the world. The image washes over you, tracing lives and emotions from 100 different times and places. Not all are your own. Slowly you become aware of the sensation of being watched. Reach out. You would direct your senses, tracing the invasion of its source, Adaryc. Conviction burns through him, bright as a brazier. For an instant you share in his emotions, and a sourceless desperation rattles about your skull. Absent context, the fragments of memories you see are just images. A small house across a field of vibrant purple flowers, a sea of armoured kith, and flapping banners, waiting on your command. There's an uncomfortable moment when you feel your twined awareness turning in on itself, and then the connection is severed. You're a watcher.
You sure he's not just a weirdo with an empty stare?
Oh no, he's definitely a
I
watcher.
get those confused a lot.
That's not...
Adaryc glances around the room, his face colouring.
That's not known to many. Not past these walls. Why have you come? Why now?
You see lost souls as I do? Is that what I'm on? About our mutual condition?
You've come all this way to indulge your curiosity?
I take it watchers don't enjoy the best reputation in Redcereans.
Does everyone in the Deerwood boast of their afflictions?
Living memories so clearly, that felt like a cipher reading.
I wouldn't know. Perhaps we simply worsen each other's
The
condition.
Bartlett seems to trouble him.
What is it?
I thought all the other watchers were mad.
That wouldn't bode well for you, would it?
Owen is irritable, but he watches you with wary interest.
I've a firm grip on my senses, whatever you believe. The Watcher's curse is many things, but if it promised madness, I would not have taken command of the Inron Flail. The memories I saw, some of them couldn't have belonged to you.
Are you also awakened?
No, of course not.
You know of cure? Eventually, he gives a slight shake of his head.
It seems a terrible thing to be awakened and a Watcher both. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, we were in the middle of something, I believe.
I came to find out what happened to the delegates.
All this for them? Infiltrating my fort, skulking through the camp.
I would have done things another way if I could have.
You could have turned around. If not for the delegates, all of this could have been avoided. Stalwart sent delegates to discuss terms of peace. I offered them the opportunity. I was generous.
Adaryc paces a few steps before he gets hold of himself.
But Stalwart sent soothsayers, not diplomats, to frighten us with stories of the moon going dark, the earth shaking.
It's true, it's all. The ways will swallow us all. A shrill voice suddenly rises from the pit. Adaryc stops down angrily on the bars, drowning her out. Perhaps you and I can talk now. Don't think you're being a little overreacted a little.
Don't play the fool with me. These omens are meant to frighten me, to make me doubt my purpose here. But there is more at stake here than a village in the mountains. They dismiss my faith, call us superstitious. But what does Stalwart believe in? Iron and gold, and nothing else. I have tilled barren fields with my bare hands. What is gold to me?
He looks down at the grate of the cell, eyes flashing with sudden anger. Perhaps you and I can talk now.
You're nothing more than a mercenary for a village of people unwilling to put their own lives on the line.
What do you want with Stalwart anyway?
With a village of fishermen, nothing. but they cling fiercely to the forge you gave them. Some of the men are here for gold and good steel, and I promised them their share. But I came for cannons. With the battery's cannons, we can hold the pass. Redcerean has suffered enough. Its sons and daughters have nothing.
He looks at a deer, jaw working.
We won't survive an attack from the Deerwood when it comes. Not unless we act. There is an army coming. I've seen it. Pouring down from the mountain. It will crush Stalwart and
I
come
have
for
also seen it.
Redcerean.
So Adra's gaze is distant.
The Iron Flail will be the wall that safeguards my homeland from the worst these fire worshippers can bring to bear.
Wait, you had a vision of an army?
I warn you, if you think to taunt me, Watcher.
I had a vision too. In mine, I saw Caed Noir reduced to rubble by an army that shook the earth. Doubt CC's actor's brow. His men exchange looks, waiting tensely for orders.
Why would they turn on their own? No, you're trying to trick me. This is all another distraction.
Trust me, so you really think a bunch of bombers can do that? I remember thunder and 100 eyes gazing back at me. Any of that sound familiar?
The thunder followed me to the temple at Dawn's Reach, and the earth split beneath our feet.
Follows and looks unsure. You read my soul. What did that tell you?
That you're soft-hearted, but it hasn't seemed to stop you. And that you have seen and done a great many things. Things I would not have otherwise believed.
We both know something's coming. Maybe two watchers can figure out how to stop it. Several moments, there's nothing but silence in the cabin. Then you hear the scrape of metal as Adaryc takes up his sword, only to lay it flat across his palms.
I led my people here because I believed we were on the right path. I bound my soul to this blade as proof of my surety.
There's a ripper of soul energy in the air, there and gone. Adaryc looks pained.
The sword's no good to me now. It's yours, for as long as you can wield it. I'll call in our forces from the mountains. Please, give me time to explain. You should speak with Stalwart's messengers. Perhaps you'll get some answers out of them.
Hopefully. Cool. Sever the soul. Sever the soul, eh? One. Take it. Oh, thank you. I thought we'd never get out of there. Are you hurt? A little bruised, perhaps. The cold was the worst part. I don't know how you managed to talk that man down. He was practically foaming at the mouth. And now he and his men are still sulking around the mountains. I'm not sure letting him live was the best idea. No, they're coming down from the mountains. Did you not hear it? The commander wasn't the problem. One of the delegates points an accusing finger at another, a woman standing apart from the rest. We might have come to terms if she hadn't goaded him, shouting at him about omens and curses, demanding he leave the march. You know how superstition the Redcereans are. The commander went white as sheet, and she sabotaged the meeting. Care to explain yourself? With desperate speed, the woman suddenly lunges sidelong towards a nearby rack and seizes a dagger lying there. She sets the blade on her own throat. Alright. I guess we won't be digging there. Oh. Watch your ability. Oh, that was it. Unseen to all but yourself, the dying woman's soul essence coils in thin wisps about her body. It only grows brighter as her corpse stills. The remaining delegate stares in horror at her pooling blood. Kneels by the dying woman and inspects her robes. She examines a crescent medallion hanging around the woman's neck. What just happened? Damn it, they will never get an answer out of her. Read the woman's soul. You reach out, blah blah blah. It leaves you stumbling into another memory, the whole as whole and vivid as the first. You walk the dark halls of an abbey, dimly lit and quiet. Your footsteps loud, a blur, and you are standing in a dimly lit room, facing a robed Amanu. You recognize him as Kyato, the High Abbot. He beckons you forward. Examine your surroundings. You are in a wide, rounded chamber. The tiles beneath your feet are covered in strange curling symbols. You recognize them as symbols of Ondra, goddess of sea and memory. The memory blurs. When your sight is clear, you're standing in front of Kyato, and he is smiling gently down at you.
Drive the Redcereans from these mountains, and you may yet spare many lives. The Tidebringer will be here in a week's time. Should you be delayed in your travels, report to him as you would to me. He will enter the reliquary and call off the army of Eyeless in my stead. If you are caught, sister, you know what you must do.
Yeah.
I will pray for your return, but we will take comfort in the knowledge that you have joined the rest of Ondra's favorite in her keeping.
The words jar you loose from the memory, flinging you back into the moment of a woman's death, and then into your own skin. But traces of her memory join yours. You know the path to the abbey to which she was to return, buried in the mountains to the north. Is the name Eyeless familiar to anyone? The Eyeless, they're a figure of speech, from what you can't remember, something? You say, must be the Eyeless took it from me. Yes, but there's a story to it. They're supposed to be do the bidding of the Lady of Lament. Ondra points and they come, out of nowhere, wipe things from the face of the world. That's why whenever something up and goes missing or gets destroyed with no one there to see it, we're supposed to thank Ondra that the Eyeless didn't come for her, for you too. Do you know a Kyato? Yes, he came through town some time back, stopped by the temple in Stalwart. This was just after the town decided to rededicate it to Abaddon. He didn't seem too pleased about it. He was dressed like a priest. Maybe he took his offence. He's a Numa, tall fellow, very polite, considering he's apparently the leader of some fanatical sect. I think it's clear we haven't been the best judges of character recently. No, you haven't. Do any of you know what the Tidebringer is? Tidebringer, that's something they used to talk about at the Temple of Ondra, I think. It's a person, a title, I mean. Tends to be used in the more devout circles. What about the Eyeless? They're a figure of speech. You can't. I've already done that. Okay, never mind that. Do you know what a Tidebringer is? Something you should talk about in Temple of Ondra, I think. Yes. Do you know anything about the Abbey to the north? I've heard of something like that, an Adaryc stronghold, not the kind of place that welcomes visitors. Manira's eyes widen. That sounds like the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. That's where she came from. The delegates point to the dead woman. Yes, this is a thing about this. Didn't make it back to call off whatever attack they're planning. What an unloving god. Feels like everyone on Eora is after the battery now. What would one of those androids want to have Redcereans out? I doubt it's for Stalwart's benefit. Competition, maybe? I better go ask them. They're up to something and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. If you do mean to go to the Abbey, be careful. There have been stories about traders wandering north and getting scared off or even killed by strange guards. That's the place, alright. There's a secretive bunch. I suppose you could always try to sneak in. I doubt you'll be welcome otherwise. Sounds like Tidebringers would be welcome, I mean. Yep. Maybe I can convince them like I'm the one they've been waiting for. I hope so. I imagine the Abbey is heavily gut. A sudden deafening crash from outside makes the delicate jump, startled. A rumbling like thunder follows. You hear further sounds of smashing timbers, panicked screaming. Gods have mercy. What is it now? Stay put. I'll take care of it. Yes, well, yep.
Huh?
This is the big bulky people. Awesome though. Awesome design though. I'll give them that.
Perhaps they haven't seen us yet.
I wouldn't be so far.
It's not very helpful.
I'm here.
Right. Yeah. Hurry up.
I'm here.
Aye?
Hi.
Be on seat.
This thing isn't doing the job.
Let's burn this
Smack the hell
away.
out of her. Forever tried to get this done last time.
That's it.
Just had to keep stunning and stunning and stunning and getting that done. As the last Megvolic falls, a tide of essence sweeps through the aether. It washes over you and you find yourself in the memories of the eyeless. The hulking creatures surround you, their sinew-wrapped skeletons clanking and screeching in the semi-darkness. Their bodies fill the air with the tang of metal and the musk of sweat. The cavern in which you stand, it looks like a cavern anyway, glows with a dim ambient light. Steel flashes as the eyeless shift and stir. They stamp their feet and groan in rasping metallic voices. Their restless energy prickles at the back of your neck. And in the echoing rumble you hear something familiar. It's a pounding noise from your dream, the harbinger of a terrible army. As you begin to wonder how many eyeless are crowded around you, you suspect that there must be scores of them, maybe more. It's difficult to tell how far back this chamber goes or where it is. Ahead you see a glint of light. It might be an exit. Already, however, the vision is starting to fade. Investigate the light. You push past the lumbering eyeless and cling to the withering shreds of the vision. The light up ahead is blinding after the dark of the cave. You rush forward, even as it fades into a pale blur. You can't see where you are, but you hear a cold wind whistling through a gap that feel a spray of moisture sting your cheeks. The vision ends, returning you to the frozen, blood-churned mud of the fort. Adaryc appears to have taken some blows. There's a purpling bruise along his temple, and his armor is dented in several places. He looks rather dazed.
Those things, they came from all sides. The delegate... No, you were right. The visions are true. You fought well. And I'm glad to see you've come through in one piece. Not many of my men were so lucky. I'll take what's left of our forces. Those that will follow me further up the mountain. We should be prepared when those monsters return.
We can defeat them if we work together.
I have seen already that there is little you can't accomplish.
Bows his head and turns to the road.
You don't mess around when you make enemies, do you?
These abominations stink of a god's cowardice.
Better home, my love. I have enclosed some coins from Stalwart so you have proof that I arrived. You were right, I am colder than I've ever been, all the more so for being away from you. The gift here is cold as their land. They do not hate us as the Deoburians do, but they are mistrustful and proud. The commander has sent for delegate to start negotiations. Perhaps by the time this letter reaches you, you will be moved into Dugan's battery. Stalwart has no soldiers, only a handful of guards. Efren says he went to look at the battery with some scouts and did not see anyone posted atop the tower. Without those cannons, they would be foolish to do anything but surrender. If not, we are sure to knock the fight out of them quickly. The commander says that once the battery is ours, our presence here alone may be enough to make the invaders think twice. He would face it with the might of the battery at our backs. I write too much of battle, but only to assure you that we are well. I miss you. The mountains are beautiful. I hold hope that you may see them for yourself, once it is safe for you to join. Ah.